a good time, and it's sure to make you smile. On the bus, in the car, on the AirPods without wires. Rank it up on the worksite, it's the Bad and Liam podcast. Bad and Liam podcast. Well, g'day there, podcaster. This episode is called The Slap. What a moment in history. I feel like when I got home from work yesterday, I was talking to my fiancée Sarah about it, and she wasn't really giving me what I wanted. Like, I was like, you understand how crazy this is, right? And I think she was like, oh yeah, like whatever. But it's
maybe
rare.
She's desensitized to it.
Maybe. It's rare that I come in the morning to do the show and just go, there's only like one news story I really care about, want to talk about.
Definitely.
Like,
we don't even really care about any news stories.
News
in
general.
I reckon in today's show, which you're going to hear, I reckon we talked more about the slap than we did about the sad passing of Warnie, which we talked about a fair bit. But I reckon we went so in on the slap.
We went pretty hard. Enjoy today's episode. Make sure you stick around to the end as well, because I loved getting one of our comedian friend Amos Gill's thoughts on the whole situation. Yeah. It was the slap that was heard around the world yesterday.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow!
Will Smith walking on stage at the Oscars and smacking Chris Rock across the face and then giving him an absolute spray.
Keep my wife's name out your f***ing mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
Let's find out what it was like in the room. Matt Bellany is from Puck News and hosts the Town podcast on the Ringer Network. He joins us now from Los Angeles. Matt, take us back to the moment it happened. What was the mood in the room like?
It was stunned silence. I've been to a lot of Oscars. I have never heard the room that quiet. People were looking right and left. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what had just happened. They couldn't believe their eyes.
Matt, you seem like you're one of the most well-connected blokes in Hollywood. Can you confirm for me, though, 100%, that this wasn't a bit? Because I think I had my suspicions, but as it goes on, it seems like it's not.
I get why people said that when you're watching on television, but in the room, you could absolutely tell this was not a bit. First of all, I immediately texted a friend who worked on the show that's not in the rehearsal, and the fact that the look on Will Smith's face when he is yelling at him, that is pure rage. He is the most media-trained person in the world. He is not going to drop 2 F-bombs on the Oscars unless he's furious. And the slap, we heard the slap in the room. It was a real hit. It was not a fake hit. This was not a bit.
It absolutely blows my mind, because Will Smith would have to be one of the squeakiest clean blokes I've thought over the last 30 years.
Perfect image.
100%. And I think my view of him has completely changed after that slap. Now that Hollywood slept on it, Matt, what are people saying this morning in LA?
There's a real big dichotomy, I think. There's a split between people who are saying, you know what, it was understandable. You know, this guy has put up with so much garbage about his personal life and his wife and his relationship, and she has a medical condition that requires her to shave her head. Whether Chris Rock knew that or not, we don't know, but that was a low blow, so he can react how he reacted. Then there's the other side that is like, okay, be mad. You can't hit someone.
Yeah.
You can't walk on stage and take a swing at someone. That's unacceptable. So there's a real fight going on, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look, it's a joke, but how entitled do you have to be to step up on stage in front of the world, assault someone, and then give him a serve? Like maybe if he held off in his speech and said something about it, that would be a different story.
Or even if he said something from off the stage, because clearly if he yelled like he did, the camera's going to cut to him, he's going to get the attention. Obviously, the slap, I think, was the point that went too far. Matt Bellany joining us at the moment from the Town podcast. My next question is, have we heard from Will or Chris? Because I keep checking Instagram stories, but no one's updating their stories. What's happening?
No, I've heard a rumor that a statement is going to come out later today. It's still pretty early here in LA. So I think we will hear from him. Whether Chris Rock is a part of that statement or not, we don't know. There was Will Smith was at the Vanity Fair party after the show, and he was posing for photos, he was dancing, so he was going about this as if it was normal. The LAPD said they're not currently going to press charges because Chris Rock decided not to file a police report. Doesn't mean he can't in the future, but, this is not over.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, this is going to be great material for Chris Rock. I know he's coming coming to Australia in 6 months. He's going to get half an hour out of this,
sure.
At least. Will there be any consequences for Will, though? I mean, we know that Chris Rock doesn't want to press charges, doesn't really change what he did on like an international scale. Are they going to strip him of the award? Do you think it'll just all potentially go ahead, or will only time tell?
I don't think they will strip him of the award, because that opens a can of worms when you start taking Oscars away for personal behavior. There's a lot of bad behaving people in Hollywood, so I don't think they're going to do that. And, you know, the tradition is that the winner from the previous years comes back and presents at the next year's Oscars. So they could take that away from him if they want. But I have a feeling, you know, a year is a long time. I have a feeling this will all be massaged over, and Chris Rock and Will Smith will present together next year on the Oscars.
Wow. I mean, that would be a big shout. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Matt. We can't get enough of this story. Thinking back to recent wild moments in television, I mean, Taylor Swift and Kanye West at the VMAs.
There was Janet Jackson and JT at the Super Bowl.
You had Meatloaf doing the AFL Grand Final in Australia.
That's one for us.
Does this trump all of those moments, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is up there, I think, with the craziest moments in live television ever. I mean, with the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase. I mean, this is, you know, we thought that 5 years ago, the whole envelope mixed up where they announced the wrong Best Picture.
Moonlight.
I thought that was the craziest moment in Oscars history. This puts that to shame.
Big time, big time. Well, make sure you listen to the Town podcast today on Spotify if you want more of this insight. Matt Bellany from LA live this morning. Thank you so much for your thoughts on the story. I'd really appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
And I'd love now to get your thoughts. 13, 24, 10. What did you think about the slap?
Was it justified? Was it bang out of order?
Are you on Chris Rock's side, Will Smith's side? Maybe someone's different altogether? I don't know.
13, 24, 10 is the number. What did you think about the slap?
Clancy, what do you reckon?
I think Will Smith had every right.
You think?
I mean, alopecia's a very sensitive topic. It's not his joke to even joke about, even though it kind of was a compliment at the same time, and he should have run it past Will before even saying it, really.
Do you think that walking up on stage and slapping Chris Rock is the right way to go about it?
I think he was just in the heat of the moment. He was, at first he didn't know how to take it, because I saw him laughing, so I thought it was, he thought, in my eyes, he didn't know how to take it, and then
you can't justify from heat of the moment. Like, if you murder someone in the heat of the moment, that doesn't justify.
Well, I guess the thing that a lot of people are saying, Clancy,
true.
is like so many people would watch the Oscars, especially in America and stuff, and they would all look up to Will, and they would see how he handled that situation, and they would think it's okay to slap someone when someone else says something.
That is true, but in the same sense, if they choose to, if there are any repercussions from it, he has to just take that like anybody else would.
And that's I think that's the most annoying part about it for me, Clancy, because it certainly seems from my perspective that there is no repercussions.
At all.
He's got up there, he slapped the man in the face, and then he's got up and done a speech that I found hard to watch because I thought he was being a bit of a pain in the ass the whole night. And then he's won the award, everyone's clapping him, oh, how great's Will. Then he's off dancing at the after party.
Yeah.
And we might not ever really hear anything else about it. Imagine if it wasn't Will Smith who walked up. Imagine if it was just a director on the movie or someone who worked behind the scenes that we didn't know, and they slapped someone like Chris Rock, who is probably one of the biggest comedians of all time. That person would probably end up in prison. Yeah. But because it's Will Smith, you can just sort of get away with it.
Rose joins us. What do you reckon about the slap, Rose?
I think it's disgusting of Will Smith to have done that. I like Chris Rock. He didn't do anything wrong. And all he said was like, you know, love you, Jada. Can't wait for G.I. Joe to come out. That's pretty much the gist of it. And old mate Will Smith decides to go and punch him in the face. No, I'm sorry. That is disgusting behaviour. And like you said, I can't remember which one of you said it, if it was anyone else, not even anyone famous, you would be thrown out by security, chucked in the paddy wagon and thrown in jail.
Absolutely.
And you would be, you know, I mean, if that happened to me, then I'd certainly be pressing charges. Chris Rock to not do that just shows what a great guy he is. He's, I love him to death, but Will Smith, I've lost any sense of likeness or respect for him.
And it's
that
tough.
I had, and I think he does think he's above everybody else.
It's tough as well, Rose, because like I've always loved Will Smith. I think growing up, you watch him in all the movies.
Who doesn't love Will Smith? That's why it's so disappointing, because you're like, oh God, like he's never really put a foot wrong.
Yeah.
And, his movies are great. He's like, he's a musical artist as well. He's a funny guy.
It's so 0 to 100 to go from what looked like laughing at the joke, and maybe, he didn't know how to process the joke, so that's why he was laughing, but then to go walk up on stage, to then slap him, and then walk off, and then start berating him off stage as well.
Nara.
Imagine if Chris Rock just ran over and started fighting him.
Well, good on him for not retaliating.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have spent it all in. Yeah, then you have Al Pacino jumping in there with a few cheap shots.
Denzel Washington gets involved.
And Nara.
Morning, Ben and Leah.
I mean, crazy day. Crazy day in the news.
Yes, very fun.
What did you make of the big slap?
Well, look, I think it's awesome for a husband to defend their wives, but I do have to say what's interesting the most to me is just the look that Jada gave him that set him off. Like, he was sort of just chilling out and laughing, and then she just gave him these eyes, and then he was off.
One
of the things, I thought that was an interesting insight into their relationship too.
It's definitely clear that in the last 12, 24 months or so that their relationship's been very public. There's been lots of things said about them. So I get that.
Sure.
I get that he's sensitive and that he's standing up for his wife, but it was 100% the slap that was over the mark.
It's also that thing. I know it's probably like a personal thing, and it obviously affects her as well. And the target of the joke is one thing, but when you're at the Oscars, I don't know if you feel this, Nara, but these guys, they're the richest, most privileged people on the planet. They're sitting front row at the Oscars. Everyone's there to say, oh, how great are they? If you can't have Chris Rock, he barely puts a foot wrong as well. He's one of the best comedians in the world. If you can't take a little bit of heat in the moment from those people, I think you shouldn't be there. Like, I mean,
it is surprising.
If you look at your Gervaises and some of the gear over the years, like, why do we care so much about these people copping a bit of stick? They get a pretty good run in life. And I think it's fair game. Anything's fair game in that arena.
Could you imagine the semi-celebrities? Imagine what Adam Sandler would have done.
Yeah. If you said something about Sandler's wife.
If anyone got those eyes, they would jump up and do something.
He just didn't go about it the right way.
Yeah, maybe having a few comments, shouting a few comments out is one thing.
In the modern day and age, when the entire world's watching that's not how you handle that situation. No. Maybe you'd sit there and tell yourself, "Oh, that's how I'd handle it." But when you're a role model for a lot of people, that's just inciting violence in any situation.
It's not the way to do it.
Make up for missed holidays with whatif.com this Easter. You got Ocean View apartments for us and water park for the kids. Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. How good? Booking cancellation windows apply.
What if it's Aussie for travel? Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
I always love when this happens. We're actually getting to the 610 quiz at 610.
It's 610. Hallelujah, it's 610.
Still a few phone lines free, so give us a buzz, 13 24 10.
Quite a few free, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah, they're all free. Except
no, we got one.
We got one. Mel in Gulfview Heights. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Good, guys. How are you?
Yeah, very well.
Very well.
Now, look, yesterday's 610 quiz was shambles.
We were actually angry after it.
Did you hear it, Mel? Were you listening?
No, I wasn't up that early yesterday.
Okay, that's all right. But look, it didn't go well.
It was a shocker.
So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it goes better this morning. Liam, question number one.
Okay, the One Nation Party is set to win a seat in SA Parliament. What's the name of their red-headed leader?
Pauline Hanson.
Bang. Off to a good start, Mel. Well done.
Ollie Wines joins us later this morning. Last week, he said he shares two hobbies with Ben here. They're not footy, but can you name one of the two hobbies?
Kneeboarding.
Oh, it's a good guess, though.
It's actually a great guess.
It shows to me that you know Ollie better than you know me, because he is known to kneeboard.
He is known to kneeboard.
But I would say I'm not known to kneeboarding.
Just because I like you, Mel, we're going to give you one more chance. Is there any other hobbies that possibly Ben has that he could share with Ollie Wines?
Drinking wine.
No, it's not drinking wine, Mel, but thank you very much for playing this morning.
Let's move on to Laura in Aldinga Beach. G'day.
Hello.
Laura, do you know what my hobbies and Ollie Wines' hobbies are? Which two match up? Can you name one thing?
Surfing?
Surfing?
I don't think either of them are surfers.
No.
Let's move to Rick now.
I'll give you a clue. It doesn't involve water. There's no water involved.
There's no water involved at all.
13 24 10. Give us a buzz if you want to play the 610 quiz. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Very good, thank you. We're looking for two hobbies that Ollie Wines and I share. Just one of them will suffice.
goodness.
Sorry?
That is the worst phone line I've ever heard, Rick, and we are en route to another shocking 610 quiz. If we go 3 for 3, I'm putting a bullet in it. We're never doing this segment again. All right, Karina joins us now. A hobby that Ben shares with Ollie Wines.
I think it's video games.
There you go, Karina.
He loves to play the PlayStation. They both do.
The other answer would have also been golf.
Okay, the federal budget is today. What is the capital of Australia, Karina?
Canberra.
Absolutely, the ACT. Everyone is talking about the Oscars slap Will Smith hitting comedian Chris Rock on stage for insulting his wife. Can you name your favourite comedian?
Yep, I would say Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it's Sandman, baby. Are you a fan of the film Don't Mess with the Zohan? It's a good one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, comedy gold. Continuing on with the slap theme, can you finish these Will Smith lyrics?
Now this is a story all about how...
Ooh.
Sorry, Karina.
Let's see if Mitch from Seaton's a Fresh Prince fan. Can you finish the lyrics?
Now this is a story all about how...
My life got flipped turned upside down.
Nah, I'd like to take a minute. Just sit right there.
And I'd like to tell you how I came to Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, pretty good, mate.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, Mitch. Well done. Thank you so much. Now you get to pick the next song we play because you won the 610 quiz. You just swooped in there at the end.
And I tell you what, I've been really struggling to get this one up the last week. I don't know why, but nobody wants Kylie Minogue.
And look, I don't think they're going to be going Kylie this morning when Mitch has the option to have a bit of dust.
that was...
Oh.
Barbara Streisand.
What are you thinking, Mitch? What do you want to hear this morning?
Four. I mean, are those my two options? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, I reckon we got to go for number 2 there, guys.
Oh, he's gone
duck
duck
sauce. Don't feel like he's stoked for either of those, but hey, at least we're happy here. It's been a while since I've heard Barbara Streisand.
On Nova 919, you are with your mates, Ben and Liam. Good morning, Adelaide.
Barbara Streisand.
Ben and Liam love you.
Coinkidinki Tuesday, what happened in your life? Give us a call if you've had a coincidence. For instance, you might have had an Uber driver twice. If you don't make it on, we'll do this bit again.
Yeah, not every week, but it does come back every now and then. Coinkidinki Tuesday. If there's been a big coincidence in your life, something that you're dying to share on the radio, 13 24 10 is the number.
It normally doesn't stick around for very long because it never goes too well.
Well, here's the thing, Ben. There was an Adelaide guy up for an Oscar yesterday. Cody Smith McPhee is his name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, look, don't be like that. He was in the dark western epic Power of the Dog. I think they got 12 nominations, got 1 award. Unfortunately, he didn't get up. Still a pretty big achievement, though.
So is he one of these actors where if you saw him, you'd know him or not really?
Kinda. He's been in a few big ones. The Road, which was like a post-apocalyptic one with the guy with Lord of the Rings. He was in that.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
He's about to be in the new Baz Luhrmann Elvis biopic.
Oh,
so,
cool. He's in a few things.
Yeah, some like pretty big things.
Yeah.
So I was looking into this guy yesterday because I was like, how cool.
Yeah.
You know, he's from Adelaide. Get this. He was born on the 13th of June, 1996, in the Women's and Children's Hospital, North Adelaide. That's the same hospital, the same day as me. Wow. Now that is a coinkydink.
So you're telling me in the North Adelaide Women's and Children's,
Yes.
on the same day,
On the same day, the 13th of June, 1996.
there was an Oscar nominee and a Nova radio host born in the same ward.
We could have been mixed up at birth. Maybe his parents are my parents and his parents. You know, who knows?
Wow.
Maybe I was supposed to win the Oscar.
Wow,
Maybe
wow,
I was
wow.
supposed to get up there and smack the hell out of Chris Rock yesterday. I don't know. Maybe that was my calling. Pretty big coincidence. If you've had one, 13, 24, 10. Maybe you got the same Uber driver twice. I don't know. Kirsty, what's yours?
Hey guys, when I met my sister-in-law many years ago, she was shocked to find out my name because she'd just had a little boy, but if it was a girl, she was going to call her girl Kirsty May. And my name is Kirsty May, so my last name is May. So she was going to be Kirsty May Todd, and that was my name as well.
Now that's a bloody
So
coincidence.
I think coincidences come in all varying shapes and sizes.
They do, and they are all equally as special as the other. Thanks for that, Kirsty. Hey, Sean, it's Coinkidinki Tuesday. Good morning. What's your coincidence?
So back in 2015, I was working with this bloke, and he left after about 6 months. And I never seen him again, and I've only just started a new job 8 years later, and I'm working with him again in Adelaide.
In the same industry, doing the same thing?
Yeah, so I'm truck driving, he's loading the truck, and we're doing exactly the same thing.
Who would have bloody thought it?
See, no, I think that'd be impressive if you became a doctor or something, but because it's just the same career.
That's incredible. I mean, who would have thought someone in your industry in Adelaide could be working with you again?
Thanks for sharing, Shauno. Courtney, good morning. What is your coincidence?
Good morning. I've always been quite sceptical, and nearly 10 years ago, I got my palm read at a birthday party, and I wrote a Facebook status about what they'd said. It popped up the other day, and it had said, I'll meet the love of my life at 24, which I'm currently engaged to my partner, so I hope he's the love of my life.
Yeah.
And then the weirdest part was that I'd be pregnant with twin boys. I'm currently pregnant with twin boys.
Whoa.
And he was at 27, which I am.
It's almost less coinkydink, more spooky dooky
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah.
Sorry, you cooked it on the wrong day, Courtney.
And I am genuinely thinking about doing spooky dooky Mondays now. I think that could be a real winner.
P to the O to the D to the cast.
And Liam, every now and then there comes a story that you can't avoid. It's everywhere. It's in the news when you turn the TV on. It's on the radio. It's in all your social feeds. All your friends are messaging about it. And that story yesterday was Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
Now, you and I worked quite late yesterday. We didn't get home until about 6 p.m, but it's all you and I could talk about for the entire day. So finally, when I got home and walked through the front door, the first thing I wanted to do was talk to my fiancée Sam about the story, get her thoughts. And she was in the kitchen making pizzas for dinner. Yummy. And I said, how about that slap? And she said, what slap?
I don't know how you would,
I wouldn't,
honestly.
I couldn't possibly avoid the story if I tried.
My phone was blowing up. I was doing that thing where I was just texting like people close to me going, have you seen it? Like, what is going on here?
She somehow managed the entire day yesterday to avoid the Will Smith slap story. She had no idea what it was. And then I had to get up.
Did she leave the house? Did she have her phone?
She had a pretty busy day, she reckons. She was doing a fair bit. So I don't know what she was doing.
I don't know how you missed that.
So I had to get up my phone and show it to her, and she went, oh my God, he slapped him. But, and then, it's a big story.
And then she would have gone, no, that's just put on, right? And you go, no, that's what we thought as well 6 hours ago, but now it's confirmed. Yeah, no, it's legit. It's
real. It was like
real.
stepping 6 hours back in a time machine.
Oh my God, she just completely missed the whole story.
What I was wondering this morning, 13-24-10, living under a rock, what did you miss? Because there's some people in the world where they go about their day, they don't get caught up in the hustle and bustle. They blissfully mind their own business.
Maybe you were a week late on Warnie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you just
maybe you just learned about Warnie now.
Maybe you're Googling currently going,
what happened to Warnie?
What do you mean? 13-24-10 is the number.
Living under a rock, what did you miss? Helen, good morning.
Hello, Ben and Liam. How are you?
Very good, thank you. What'd you miss?
I was a bit of under a rock when it came to texting lingo. When it first came along, I sent my friend who was really upset LOL, thinking it was lots of love.
Yeah.
And I found out it was laugh out loud.
Yeah, that's a bit of a classic, Helen.
My father's died, lol. You're not a very supportive friend. Matt, living under a rock, what did you miss?
Oh, yeah. Didn't know anything about the Will Smith thing.
Oh, hang on. So you woke up this morning and heard us talking about the Will Smith stuff and you didn't know what was going on?
No.
You got a whole night out of it, Matt. Imogen joins us now. What did you miss?
Good morning, boys. Well, a bit of a throwback, but I had no idea Britney Spears shaved her head until like a couple of months ago.
You missed the Britney head shave?
No idea whatsoever.
Was it all the free Britney stuff that made you like look into the story a bit and then you saw that she shaved her head, or?
Yeah, well, my partner was talking about it and then I did a bit of research and I saw a photo and I had no idea who it was until he said, Imogen, that's Britney Spears.
I mean, it's like 2007.
Yeah.
I mean, I was quite young at the time, but I remember it being like a big...
Oh, yeah, it was a big story.
It was a very... I mean, and that's when magazines are big as well, and it was on the front cover of everything.
Blanc.
Imagine this, Ben. You're 30 years old and you find out that you've got a secret sister that you never knew about. That's what happened to a friend of mine. How wild is this? So my friend's mum got a call from Ancestry.com.
No.
Over the weekend. And the Ancestry lady on the phone said, hello, is this Suzanne? And she said, yes.
Yeah.
And then the lady proceeded to tell her that her husband had a secret daughter with another woman.
Whoa.
And they never knew about it. So that means my friend's got a secret sister. The wife's
Hang on, was
sort
the
of
dad
stepdaughter that
was
she
the
never
dad
knew about.
Was the dad not in the situation anymore?
He was still there.
Wouldn't even be like, whoa,
That's the thing.
Ancestry.com, you're blowing my relationship up.
What a job. So it's actually a thing. You can work for Ancestry.com.
Could you
and
imagine the stare that the mum would have gave the husband when she said there was a secret daughter?
Your job is just to drop grenades on perfectly functioning families.
I don't
Hello?
believe that.
Tammy here, Ancestry.com. Your whole life's a lie. Have a nice day.
That's
Bye.
unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Ancestry.com was, I'll be honest, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick.
I thought it was a gimmick too.
I didn't realise there
But
was
it's
real
legit.
people working there calling families.
And the only reason they caught him out is because their family had given their DNA so they could do their family tree.
Yeah.
And then and then this other random family living in the same suburb did it, and then they were like, well, hang on, that person's dad is this guy over here. Now, I think it wasn't a big secret that the man was with this woman before. But and who knows? Maybe he didn't know as well about the daughter.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt. Maybe there was a relationship there. It ended.
Yeah.
And the woman was pregnant and didn't decide to tell him. Either way, it's pretty crazy. So they're a pretty similar age.
Has the friend wanted to go and meet the half sister?
I think they're still just in shock. It's just shell shock at the moment. It's just like, oh my God, imagine if you found out right now that there's just like secret.
It's wild.
And you don't know what they look like. You don't know what they've been in your area.
It's weird because they are family because they've literally got your blood in them, but then you're also like, they're not really family because you didn't live with them.
I know.
I don't know.
And then it's like, well, do you want them to be buddy family?
Yeah.
Or do you just want to turn a blind eye and pretend it never happened?
That's crazy.
Secret siblings. Do you have one? 13, 24, 10, maybe you found out a deep, dark family secret. You chased them up online, you met them. Maybe you don't want to meet them, but these things do happen. So if you have a secret sibling, 13, 24, 10, give us a buzz. Get in touch. Rachel, you have a secret sibling.
Not myself, but my dad. Yeah, he when my grandfather, his father passed away.
Yeah.
He found out at the funeral that he had a stepbrother and stepsister. They came to the funeral and said,
"Oh, wow!" And so he found out about it at the funeral, Rach.
Yeah. So his twin brother, his younger sisters, and younger brother, they all found out that there was a whole other side to his family that they didn't know about.
You're kidding?
Did they stay in touch post funeral?
No, so my grandmother said at the time, I don't want anything. I've never known you, and I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
So neither did all the siblings. So that door was shut, and it's never been opened.
That's so
That
juicy,
is
isn't it?
nuts, though, Rachel. I mean, surely the people in the back row have got the popcorn there going, this is the best funeral I've ever been to.
Thank you very much.
Obviously they're not fun things, but that is dramatic.
Thanks for sharing, Rachel. Kim, good morning.
Morning.
Secret siblings, are you one?
I'm not, but my best friend is donor conceived, and she recently found out that she has half siblings all over the country. And similar situation, she accidentally messaged someone and said, "Oh, I matched with you on Ancestry.com," and because of the match it was, they were, like, she knew it was their half-sibling, and it kind of blew this other family apart accidentally.
Whoa.
Oh, right, so she's accidentally gone, bang. She's messaged she's messaged the other family and then, broken that family.
Yeah, so they shared that, and the other family didn't disclose this information.
You can't feel bad about that, though. If you're the person that sent the message, like, you're just trying to find these connections through family, but it's not your fault for blowing that family up.
No, not
it's
really.
the person that did all the cheating. That's at fault
true.
there.
I mean, I suppose in the back of your head, you're going, this might...
I reckon, back in the 80s and 90s, all these cheaters didn't realise this thing called Ancestry.com was going to blow a lot of their marriages up.
The bane of their existence. Jess, secret siblings, do you have one?
Good morning. Yes, I do. I have quite a few, actually.
Yeah.
It was about 3 years ago. I was on Facebook, and this random girl sent me a message saying that I think I'm your half-sister.
Mm.
So I asked her, like, who's your dad? And she said my dad's name, and it was like, oh, my God. And then we found out that we had an older half-sister here in Adelaide as well, and we've got an older half-sister over in New South Wales as well.
What?
Whoa, okay. So
you had three extra half-sisters that you didn't know about?
And 4 half-brothers as well.
And they were all from different families?
Yep.
Oh.
All different mums, same dad, and no one knew our whole lives.
Dad's obviously been busy. I mean,
Whoa.
have you
Yeah.
kept up, like, in touch with those people?
Yeah, is the dad with one of the particular families, or where's he?
No, our dad passed away in 2013, so
Right.
none of our siblings actually met him.
So is that kind of when it started coming out, when people started digging into the family history?
No, I tracked my dad down, and I didn't know that he'd passed away.
Yeah.
And it was his wife who was looking after his Facebook account, so I sent him a message saying, look, I don't want anything from you. I just want to know why you haven't been in my life, like why you walked away.
Yeah.
And she blocked me, and I was like, okay.
Yes.
And then my dad's widow contacted my grandfather, and then my grandfather got in contact with my little sister, who then contacted me.
Oh, Jess, it goes deep.
It's like a movie or something. I mean, are you friends now with some of those siblings? Has it had a sort of a kind of silver lining?
I've met 2 of my sisters. My older sister, who lives here in Adelaide, I actually used to work with her at Target at Elizabeth, and we had no idea.
Oh, what?
You were sisters the whole time. That is incredible.
Wow, Jess.
That is unbelievable. Thank you so much for your story this morning. Cassie, now you don't have a secret sibling, but turns out your grandpa was a bit of a player back in the day. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Good morning, Ben and Liam.
Good morning.
So, my grandpa, he used to live in England, and he used to work at a restaurant. And he met this lady. She came in, and they met, and they decided to go on a date. But he gave her a fake name. And they went out on a date, and all, you know what happened. And then anyway, so he went on with his work. A couple months later, she came in looking for him under the fake name. And obviously no one worked there under that name, and he was hiding out the back. And he said, no, don't tell her, because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So he told me this happened a couple times. So he'd done this a couple times. He'd gone out with women, and they got pregnant, but he didn't tell them his proper name, so they never actually found him. So he's got secret children in England somewhere, and we'll never be able to find them.
Classic granddad.
I know.
What's he like?
Oh, granddad.
Yeah, rooting around,
Get a few whiskies into me, tell you all the stories.
Oh, yeah. Nah, at least 10 of them. Weirdest name I tried on was Harold. Yeah, they believed it. Yeah. Now, my name's Bartholomew.
Hope you're having a pod blast with the podcast.
Then we're joined now by the newest member of the Ben and Liam team, Port hero and Brownlow medalist, Ollie Wines.
Ollie, 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 Ollie! Wines! Talking.
Morning, Ollie.
Morning, guys. I'm loving that intro.
Yeah, well, you
Warming on me.
yeah, you're just warming on you. Good, because we did say we'd change it if you wanted to, but then we kind of didn't do that.
Didn't get around to
it. Now, Ollie, another rough loss over the weekend. Not an ideal start to the season, especially after the last couple of years you guys have had. What have the last few days around the club been like?
Yeah, no, it was a really disappointing loss. A little bit embarrassing considering the significance of the night for us. So we're really disappointed with our performance. We've had some pretty honest conversations, particularly yesterday in in our individual and team review, so we can't let that happen. Fortunately, we're only 2 games into the season, so we've got plenty more opportunities to get our season going, and there's none bigger than a showdown this week. So.
I've always wondered, not to get too into the nitty gritty of breaking down a game, but after a bad performance, do you literally have to sit there with Ken and watch the game, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" Like, does he point stuff out at you?
We have that with our radio
we have
show.
That
we listen back to it, and the boss goes, "What was that?"
Yeah, does Ken point stuff out in front of you, and you have to explain why you did what you did?
Yeah, exactly that. So not the whole game. They'll pull out certain edits or parts that broke down, and we've sort of got to explain what's going on and what's broken down. So there was a fair few of those yesterday to look at.
And you did mention Showdown, Crows vs Port this Friday. It's going to be huge. Both teams really need to win. Do you get along with the Crows guys? Like, are you supposed to hate each other, or do you, like, outside of footy, do you sort of know a few and they're all right?
I know Matty Crouch. Matty Crouch is a good fella. He's a country Victorian, so we don't have too much to do with them, to be honest, outside of the footy club.
I like that, though. I like that it's just like, nah.
Well, that's it, yeah. And then every, 20 years or so, you meet up in the Ramsgate car park. You know, that's gonna... I like the tension. Yeah, you probably do.
I feel like we're building to that, yeah.
Are you worried about the Crows at all? I mean, they haven't really had a great start either, but how are you guys feeling about that one?
I think you've always got to be worried for showdowns and prepared for the opposition's best. They bring out the best in each team, so we're preparing for the best the Crows have, and we know they've got a lot of talent and experience on their team. So,
especially on a Friday night as well, it's the big stage. I'm very nervous, very excited for the game, but we do have tickets to give away this morning. But Liam, we thought we'd do it how we did it yesterday.
Yeah. So we've got Kelly who's called up. Kelly, you're a Crows fan?
Yes, I am.
All right, Kelly, you're going up against Matty in McLaren Vale. Good morning, Matthew.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Now, you're going head-to-head with each other for these Showdown tickets.
Look,
Ollie's going to be the judge.
Everyone wants the tickets, so we want a good atmosphere. I mean, I'm sure Ollie doesn't want to play out there in front of a quiet crowd. So we want the biggest possible fan to win. So you know that game you play in school where you
say an inappropriate word?
And then it has to get louder and louder. You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah. We're going to play a game of that. We're not saying that word, though. So, Kelly, we want just a Khan Crows, just as loud as you can. And then, Matthew, we're going to need you to beat that with a Khan power.
All right, Kelly, you're up first. Give us your best Khan the Crows.
Khan the Crows!
It's pretty good.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew, your turn.
Khan the power!
Okay, I feel like you're both saving a little bit.
I think you're just feeling each other out, but I reckon you can really let this one rip, Kelly. Give us some.
Khan the Crows!
Yeah, there's a little bit more voice breaking in there.
A bit of feral coming out there. It's really going nuts. All right, Matty, what do you got?
Khan the power!
I don't know if we're going to get better than that. I don't know. What do you reckon, Ollie? We'll leave it up to you.
Look, I might be a little bit biased, but I think Matty gets that.
Yeah, I think so.
I was actually a bit scared of that. That was intimidating.
Thank you very much for playing, Kelly. And Matty, we'll see you there Friday night.
Excellent, thank you.
No worries at all. Ollie, mate, best of luck for Friday. Look forward to the game. We'll speak again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Ben and Liam. Dopamine for your ears.
One of the biggest moments in pop culture in the last 20 years, Will Smith slapping the hell out of Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars yesterday.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow!
It was after a joke, so we wanted to get a comedian's take on the story this morning. Amos Gill is one of Adelaide's favourite stand-ups. He's living in LA at the moment, and he joins us now. Amos, can you believe this?
I was already pissed off because I was on a bloody Uber coming back from Houston, Texas. I had to go through Hollywood. It added $90 to my fare because the traffic was all blocked off because of these Hollywood wankers that have their little get-together where they tell us about how we're meant to act and the moral code, and they cancel people for tweets. And then I have to watch some douche who hasn't had a hit since the 90s get up there and punch Chris Rock in the face for making a joke about his girlfriend. I mean, first of all, let's just start with this. Doesn't an open relationship look really healthy? Don't they look like a stable group? Then he laughs at the joke, boys. That was the thing that got me.
He does.
He laughs at the joke. And the joke was that his wife looks like G.I. Jane. So basically, Chris Rock's gone, oh, you're a very beautiful-looking actress with a shaved head. You also look like Demi Moore, another beautiful actress. Could you imagine being compared to Demi Moore?
I know. I know.
Horrific. Horrific, wasn't it? And so there she was, all stone-faced, and then he decides to be a white knight, walk on the stage and slap Chris Rock. I mean, it was wild. Fair play to him. The Oscars is always boring. That was a brilliant thing to see.
Yeah.
You'd be thinking at that point, Will Smith does need the Men in Black memory wiper so everyone can forget like what an L he has become in his life. And then in front of millions of people around the world to just walk up and think you can slap someone and then sit back down and laugh about it and get an award.
Yeah, I know. And they're enabling it.
And not mention it. Like no one mentions it. He's like, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry to the Academy." Not, I'm sorry to the guy who I just punched in the face.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild when these people are like, you're the most privileged, you're the richest people on earth. You're sitting there in the front row. Surely you can take a little bit of the heat from a comedian. And I think, like, in the history of these awards, that's pretty tame gear, really, especially how hard Chris Rock can go. I mean, Gervais should have been knocked out. If we're going by these rules,
he would have shot Gervais, I reckon.
Gervais must have been knocked out at least 23 times.
Mel Gibson must have been sitting there like, I could have taken a lead pipe to his head. And then my Instagram's been blowing up because I've been very firm about it. And I loved Will Smith, but I just thought this was such a weak move. And then I've had a bunch of people be like, nah. Like there are people out there who do go, no. He, as he said in his apology, which to me the apology was the worst bit. He gets up there and goes, love makes you do crazy things. And then he has the gall to say, I'm a protector, just like Richard Williams, who, of course, is Venus and Serena's dad, who he was portraying in the movie. Yeah. So he basically goes, oh, I was just sort of channeling the guy I played in the movie. We're both good men who protect our family. He raised two of the greatest athletes in a generation. You punched a 5'3" comedian who's nearly 60 years old. And then, have you seen the after party? He's dancing to his own music. Mate, no one liked this back then. And then I'll end on this because I could keep talking about it all day. I had a girl say to me, well, he shouldn't have made fun of her alopecia. My stepbrother had alopecia. I understand it's difficult. I mean, sure. But people go, oh, he shouldn't have made a joke because it was common knowledge and it was in the news recently. And it's like, oh, maybe Chris Rock, like the rest of us, wasn't paying attention to what Jada Pinkett Smith's up to. He might have been distracted by potential nuclear war, collapse of the global economy, gas prices, or a global pandemic. But not all of us are constantly going, whoa, Jada Pinkett Smith's got a shaved head. What could that be? Like, he should have just said, look, I'll talk to Chris Rock afterwards and I'll say we didn't feel good about that joke. Maybe they could have apologized. But to do what he did, and for people, and particularly the Academy, to not pull him up on that is a disgrace. And Hollywood has absolutely no legs to stand on. And if they ever tell us how to act again, particularly during this Ukraine crisis where they say, choose love, choose peace, and then they clap a man punching another man in the head for a joke, an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, absolutely. Amos Gill, you've hit the nail on the head this morning from Los Angeles, Adelaide man over there.
Well, you shouldn't even do that. You shouldn't even hit a nail on the head. Unless that nail says your girlfriend's got a bad haircut, it's not okay to hit the nail. Hey, by the way, I am doing stand-up comedy in Adelaide again, June 30 at the Arca Bar. So if I say anything disagreeable, if you pay your $35, come have a slap.
That's what I love. A man who does his own plug. Amos Gill, thank you very much.
There, boys.
And that's the end of the Ben and Liam podcast.
I'm glad we got Amos Gill on. It always makes me chuckle.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's, I think you and I, we can talk about it, but I think he's just not afraid to say whatever he thinks.
Yeah, exactly. He's really allowed to let loose a little bit.
It's a fun sound effect, isn't it?
Oh, it sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. That's a bit more of a
sultry
one.
That's a sexy one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And then assault.
Imagine if he came up
sexy.
Yeah, assault. Sexy. If Will Smith walked up there and gave Chris Rock a little sexy one,
yeah,
a little butt tap, I reckon everyone would go, oh, this is a bit fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a bit naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, he went for this one.
It was a bloody
salty.
It was a big slap.
Just really, just.
And you know what? I was also
winding up from downtown.
Obviously, we took Chris Rock's side in this argument, but I mean, the one thing I will give to Will is it was a bloody good slap. Could you imagine
if it was
the eyes of the world are on you, and you kind of do a bit of a spangly slap where it's not a good connection? It would have been embarrassing.
Well, we made a video for Instagram. You can check it out, Ben and Liam, and. we were kind of we're at work late and we're like, hey, well, we should just get something up there. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking, but
just at least reflect it.
Reflect the So we had an idea, like I'm eating some chips, you slap my face, and then I think we decided that you would slap me, which is obviously the short straw to draw. But I think we both knew deep down that my slap probably wouldn't have been as good as yours. You could probably nail the take first time, get a good connection, cause some pain, but I would probably end up punching you in the ear.
You said that, and I thought that's about right. And I said to you, I was like, I'll do the slap, but I really don't want to miss and get you in the ear because that would hurt so much.
And I reckon your fingertip just got not on the ear, but kind of close enough to make it ring for a bit.
Yeah, and what's also funny, watching that video back, I thought, like, when I did it, I was like, I felt like, when you watch those slap knockouts?
Yeah.
I felt like I did that to you. And then you watch it, and
it wasn't that crazy.
It's not that crazy.
It wasn't that crazy. And it hurt a fair bit, but it wasn't... Yeah, I feel like you weren't, like, going in soft.
I was trying to knock you out, but I was trying to hurt you, for sure.
Cause some pain.
Yeah.
But, that's... Well, I think people are still enjoying it. Some people are saying that it's in poor taste. To that, I would say...
I don't get. I'm like, what do you mean it's in poor taste?
What do you mean? Like...
We were talking about
if you can't joke about that, what can you joke about?
Oh, and clearly, if you think it's in poor taste, then you're favouring Will Smith and that side of things because you're like, leave him alone.
Yeah, because if you're saying it's in poor taste and you're on Chris Rock's side, he was making a joke. So are we.
So are we. We're like Chris Rock. We're basically Chris Rock.
We're pretty much Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Maybe when he comes to Australia in July, he'll get us to warm up for him.
Maybe
slap each other a little.
You know what though? Like I wanted to go see Chris Rock anyway when he came to Adelaide. God. Now more than ever, I really want to see him.
This ticket's going to go wild. I can't wait to see like the first. Chris Rock addresses it in his stand-up, and that clip goes viral.
Then again, you know what he's going to say. He's going to say Will Smith slapped me. He's going to explain like I don't know. Maybe he'll have some behind the scenes to it,
or maybe he'll just sort of just shrug it off.
He has to acknowledge it. He has to.
I don't know. I feel like that's...
But he won't do it through socials. Like, he's not the kind of guy, because he's old school. He won't get his phone up and, like, talk to it through an audience. He'll do it to a live audience.
For sure. Yeah. I like that about Chris Rock. I like that about us.
Yeah. We're pretty similar.
It's pretty similar in a lot of ways.
All right, podcaster. We'll see you in the next one.
Ben and Liam is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.